Following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by State of Franklin Healthcare Associates. Once again, it is time for a conversation with one of our local doctors here as part of State of Franklin Healthcare Associates, and I'm joined today by Dr. Sarah Knuettel. How are you doing, doctor?
I'm doing pretty good.
We're here at Preferred Internal Medicine here in Greenville. That's where you practice.
Yes.
Talk to us about how you came here, to be here in Greenville.
Oh, absolutely. So I actually started with State of Franklin out of residency. Dr. Overholt was my preceptor as a medical student, actually one of my first for outpatient medicine, and just loved the way she practiced, and so kind of followed with her a little bit throughout the years. And then when it came time to find a job, we were kind of talking about it, decided to come here. And I've been here since.
Early on in her career, Dr. Knuettel knew she wanted to practice medicine on the mission field, and that's what led her to a career in family medicine.
Well, I became a doctor because I wanted to get into medical missions, primarily was my focus. And I love taking care of all people, doing all the things. I get bored if I do just one thing.
Gotcha.
And so to have like the experience in all fields in medical missions, I wanted to be able to be experienced with seeing kids as well as any OB. So I kind of wanted all of that field, so I went family instead of internal.
And her passion for the mission field even predates the beginning of her medical career.
Ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to go into the mission field. That was just where I felt called to be, but I'm not good at public speaking, funny enough. So I was like, well, odd calling, and I was like, there's something that I must be able to do to help people, and that's just where my passion has been. And so I kind of led down, and a good friend of mine, Brother Steve Moore, he actually kind of led me and counseled me in a lot of directions, and it was him who was like, you know, I told him, kind of feel drawn to be a doctor, but I also feel drawn to the mission field. And he was the one that said, well, why can't you do both? And from the second he said it, I was like, oh, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
She looks back on her mission trips with fondness for the people she has served and is looking forward to serving abroad again.
My first medical mission was in Haiti and Dominican Republic. We went down there to an orphanage and stayed there, and we would go and load up into the back of this like open bed truck and ride up the mountains and set up a clinic. And we would just pile out of the truck, and people would walk for miles. They would see our truck coming and just start walking towards us just to get medical care.
Right.
And we saw a lot of patients. Now we've been going more to a place in Africa, and we have been going, it's called the Gambia, and we're actually going this week.
Oh, wow.
And we go there and set up a clinic that we stay at all week long so people know where to find us. And we do see a lot more when we go to Africa than when I went on the Dominican trips. But
it's a true blessing for you.
Oh yes, absolutely. I definitely like gain a lot. It's like my purpose, you know?
Away from medicine and mission work, this doctor likes to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors.
I love hiking. I love being in the woods, the mountains. I love riding my side-by-side.
Okay.
So yeah, we go up the trails quite a bit on a regular basis. And that way I get to see more of the mountains than I can just walk.
Right.
And then I love being on the water, so paddleboarding, kayaking, things like that. Mostly anything I can come up with to do outside, that's what I love.
As for her future, she wants to continue to practice in Greenville.
I love Greenville, and I want to primarily stay here.
Right.
And I love my patients and kind of growing that kind of patient panel and just getting more established in the area. But primary care, I love primary care and just taking care of my people, but I would love to see, you know, more time in the mission field, preferably, and that's what I kind of aim for in the future, is to maybe be able to do a little bit longer trips, a little bit more frequent trips.
Right.
But overall, about the same as what I have now, but on a slightly different scale.
All right. Dr. Sarah Knuettel, thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank
Dr.
you.
Sarah Knuettel with State of Franklin Healthcare Associates right here in Greenville, Tennessee. That's this week's Meet Your Provider. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by State of Franklin Healthcare Associates.